Hey there, Chad here with a quick sidebar on Kerbal Space Program in 2021. In this sidebar, I want to talk about aerodynamics on your rockets. There's been some debate on whether or not aerodynamics are important on Kerbal rockets, and I did a demonstration here to show what the differences are on a fairly simple rocket. What I'm assembling here is a rocket with a control unit, a fuselage to give it a little bit of space for stability, and then a solid rocket booster, the second from smallest, I guess, in the beginning of the game. I think this is the hammer. Putting some fins on it, and we're going to go out and launch it. Now, when we do that, what you're going to see are two screens. These are two separate rocket launches. I basically launched one, recorded it. I then hit restore to launch pad, revert to launch pad, and then I launched again. I did a slightly different angle to give it a little bit of a different look, but ultimately it's the same launch. I don't touch any of the controls. I just spacebar, let it go. What I wanted to measure was the maximum velocity that's reached and the maximum altitude that these climb out to. So in this particular case, no consideration for aerodynamics has been added. The top is flat. That's what the test is here. I had seen another video in the past where someone demonstrated the difference in the two, and it was noticeable, but it was not something that was ever really quantified. So I'm going to put some numbers around it, and here's what I found. The maximum velocity on both of these reached 423 meters per second, and they both climbed out to 9,916 meters, so 9,916 meters. And that's when they fell back. So the video kind of shows you that. Now what I'm going to do is add a simple round nose cone to the top of this rocket. That is the only change. Nothing else is being touched. So this is adding a little bit of weight, which noticeably decreases the delta V. Only a couple of meters per second total though, right? Not a big deal. So it decreases it though because there's more weight. But what you're going to see here, and I did the same process. It says two separate launches. It was a revert to launch pad after the first one finished. What you're going to see here is a tremendous difference in the speed that these reach and how high they go. Interestingly enough, unlike the previous two tests, these two came up with slightly different numbers. The maximum speed was about the same. It was pretty close, about 948 meters per second. I think one was a fraction above that and the other was a fraction below it. The maximum altitude reached, though, was almost 200 meters different. Now, at the end of the day, 200 meters is going to be less than 1%. So I would say we're probably within a margin of error there. I did go back and watch the videos to see if maybe I had accidentally done some sort of control, like maybe nosed over a little bit or something like that. I didn't see anything. That's not to say I didn't do it. I'm not sure of what other random effects might have occurred there. It could be, I don't know, it could be timing on the CPU or something. 200 meters was, I don't know, that felt a little like it wasn't just something that seems that for a computer you would think you would get almost identical result each time. It is possible a few seconds went by before I launched, and maybe that changes things some. I don't know about that. I might have waited 15 seconds longer in one of the two launches. There's the numbers you have, though. We get to 32,000 meters, 32 kilometers. So the previous rocket, without the nose cone, only didn't even get to 10 kilometers, and this one went to 32. So 3 times the efficiency at least in the lower atmosphere. Now, Kerbal Space Program added fairings, and what a fairing is it's basically a cone that goes around the rough edges of the top of a spacecraft, and it makes it more aerodynamic. So I'm going to add a simple fairing here, and then what I'm going to show you is this next launch sequence is going to be 3 launches. It's going to be the first one that made it to 9,900 meters. It's going to be the second one that made it to 32,000 meters. And then you're going to see what the one with the fairing does. And it blows the other two away. So I'm going to go ahead and let you watch this for a moment. I synced them up so that the rockets cut engine at the same time once they complete. I think it's 34 seconds of fuel on that particular engine. Also, I'm going to freeze the frame here as the engines burn out. I can try to capture the last frame before the engine actually flames out. So this allows you to look at the numbers yourself at the top of the screen on each of those and do some comparisons on your own. That's a very stark difference if you go from a rocket with no aerodynamic cone at all to the one. I mean, it's a huge step to just putting the round nose on there, but then you put the fairing on and it's in a completely different class. This hammer rocket is going to make it into suborbital flight all on its own. Pretty impressive. I've time-lapsed the rest of this video for each of those rockets because there's really no reason for you to sit here for 3 more minutes to watch that one with the fairing finally reach its max altitude. I've added a freeze at the end of each of those quadrants there so you get a chance to look at the numbers one more time. As always, thank you for watching, and I truly hope you found something you can use here and that it was worth your time. Until next time, fair travels.